You know, I know we scheduled 3 lessons, right?
Yeah.
So
So basically what's happening is
I'm just going to take some notes.
I hit the ball like well, obviously at times. I'm like shooting in like the low 90s like consistently. I cannot break it. Like I bogey or double everything. I'll be putting for bogey. My putting's an issue. Having like a diverse like bag of chipping, you know, like having different forms of ball flights and stuff like that. And then my issue too is like I'll fucking chunk a lot. Like I chunk my irons a lot.
You're talking about chipping, or you're talking about like full swings?
Well, I'm just talking about like around the green, like short game. You know, just having like even in like well, like I'm pretty good with my say like 7 down. But like when I hit my pitching wedge real consistent, my 52 and my 56 and all the easy ones, you know. So, but it's just like a lot of times I'll like hit behind the ball and I'll trunk, or or just some sort of like funky little ball flight out to like the right, you know. But
yeah, I mean, with
my driving is starting to come together.
Is it?
Yeah, I mean, at least for me. I mean, I'm like now hitting the ball pretty consistently straight. You know, slight fade, and probably like between like 260 and 280.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it's like going now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's cool. That finally came around.
Has anybody been like, if any is like Andy or Bobby or anybody, like, I don't know how often you play with those guys, are they helping you at all? Or are they?
Well, I play with Andy all the time.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't help me.
He doesn't help you at all. Okay.
No.
I'm just wondering like why, you know, you're saying like, oh, now it seems to be working. Like what?
Well, so basically with like the driving is I was always coming down like on my drive or whatever, and now I just could like think about more like coming back in, and then before I hit the ball, I just think about hitting the inside of the ball now.
Right.
So, and then that's fixed a lot for me.
Yeah.
But before I was like, you know, whatever the fuck I was doing. But, so and that's the problem that's like my big problem is sometimes when on my downswing, I do this like, you know, whatever. It's like this.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the fuck it is,
but
I don't drop it down and in and get that like, you know, what you're looking for. So
that move, you know, a lot of people call it like an over the top move.
Yeah,
and it just, you know, I don't know if you're familiar with the term like swing plane, but like we'll draw some lines, and it's basically the shaft angle at address, a line going up, you know, towards the sky, towards infinity. And if you swing along that line, you're on plane. And a lot of times what happens is people take it back, you know, on that line, and then they come down that way.
That's exactly
so it goes over the line.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's interesting because, you know, a golf swing, like it's a swing, and like a baseball swing is a swing. But the thing about golf is that when the ball's on the ground, it makes it a lot harder for you to make solid contact.
Yeah.
Because when you're throwing something or hitting a ball up here, there's no real concern about like hitting the ground or like picking something off the ground.
Yeah.
And I think that's why golf's so hard. And so for most people, especially when they start out, there's this tendency to start their backswing with the best intentions, because really when you swing a golf club, you're swinging out there, you know, just like a baseball swing. You're trying to hit it out there.
Yeah.
But then when you get about right here, the focus goes from there to that.
Yeah.
And then you're swinging.
And then you're like trying to,
Right. You know, because if the focus, like, just put it this way, if the focus was that, and you're like, I'm going to try to hit this thing into the ground as hard as I could, you'd be like chopping wood, right? So your swing would look like this. You'd pick it up and you'd slam it down, right?
Yeah.
But if you're saying I want to go out there, and you focus out there, your swing looks like this.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, most people, what they'll do is they'll start out with their intentions of going out there, and then at about right at the top of the swing, the focus goes there to there, and then it resembles something between a swing and chopping wood, right? So it's like down, but then also out. So I mean, what you're saying about like hitting it on the inside and feeling like the club comes more behind you, what I'm hearing is that you're just kind of going back to like a swing.
Yeah, well, and basically just shit I saw on the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the stuff that you see on the internet, I mean, there's truth in all of it.
Sure,
and I think,
but
you know, it's great that you're here, because I think from my experience, having one or two people that you trust that have been through it and have a lot of experience, that you can just go, hey, what do I need to do? Because I've had a couple students take a couple lessons from me, and it's going okay. They're starting to improve, and then they get really excited, and then they're like binge on YouTube,
Yeah,
and then
fucks
it just
them
like
up.
all falls apart.
Yeah.
Because every single one of those, you know, somebody will say, you know, have you seen this instructor, Butch Harmon, you know, Jimmy Ballard, and it's like all of those guys are amazing, but it's like if you're listening to what I'm saying, what they're saying, it's too
Hard
much.
to put it together.
Yeah. Because there's always different ways to do it. For me, the way that I like to coach is just to have you, because I know you're athletic, you know, so you have like a baseball swing, you have a golf swing. There's a way that humans naturally propel an object forward into space. You know, like if you give a little kid a ball, they're gonna grab it here. I just saw like my 2-year-old nephew do it the other day. Grab a ball here, they're gonna step, their hips are gonna turn, and then they're gonna release. I mean, the ball might not go somewhere, but there's a natural motion.
Yeah.
And so to me, it's like, how do you keep that motion with the introduction of trying to hit a golf ball off the ground? And I would just say, if you can, you almost want to make it, I think the best way that I've heard it put is that you almost want to make hitting the ball solid like a surprise. Like you make a golf swing the way that you want to swing,
And then the ball just happens to be there.
yeah. It's almost like a surprise, like the sixth thing that you think about after you hit. You're like, oh, I happened to notice that I hit the ball solid.
Yeah.
And you're just so committed to swinging.
Yeah. No, I've definitely had that, like you know, where
Yeah.
it's like, okay, like I'm gonna keep my head still, I'm gonna do everything right, and I'm like, boom, and then I'm like, oh damn, yeah, that was fucking good.
Yeah.
You know, later, but like I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
But a lot of times when I mess up, it's like I'm trying to swing and watch,
Yeah.
you know, and then
Yeah.
I'm trunking, or I'm trying to swing real hard and I'm hitting the back behind the ball. So
Yeah.
that's my biggest miss, is literally behind the ball. I'm not fucking. I've gotten
Yeah.
better at it. I'm no longer breaking my goddamn wrist every time I go out, but it's still like something I definitely want to get rid of.
So I mean, like the low point of a golf swing, you know, solid contact comes from hitting a golf ball before you hit the ground. To me, the definition of solid contact is you hit a golf ball and then you sweep the ground right in front of it. I mean,
Okay.
some people just touch it, you know, like Tiger when he was hitting it good would just thump the ground, and then some people take divots. It doesn't really matter if it brushes or you take a divot. Obviously, you don't want to take a super deep divot,
Yeah.
but if you're hitting the ball first in the center of the club face and then you're sweeping the ground right ahead of it, that's generally solid.
Yeah.
So when people get their focus too much on the ball and hitting it solid, if your focus is on the ball, you're definitely going to end up hitting it a little bit behind.
Oh, okay.
I would say the better the player, the further ahead of the ball, the low point of their swing occurs. You know, like I'll just show you with okay. Where's my wedge here? So like every time you swing a golf club, the club comes up, comes down, and then goes back up. There's always a low point to this swing, right? And so for a club like a wedge or a 9-iron, where do you think the low point of this swing should occur?
I guess like right past it then, right?
Yeah, exactly. For an average PGA Tour player, where do you think the low point occurs for, say, like a pitching wedge?
Oh, actually, I don't know. I guess like maybe up here or something.
Yeah, you're right. It's about 4.5 inches ahead of the ball. I mean, it's hard to visualize for me even on the mat.
Yeah.
But on the grass, you know, you go up here and you're like, you can picture, you know, ball sitting here. Somebody who like rotates their body and then hits the ball first. Then the divot starts kind of like right below the ball. But the thing is that a divot gets deeper and then shallower, right? Because it's like the club's working on an arc. And so if this would be like a tour player divot, right? You would like hit here. The club would start into the ground right in front of the ball. The deepest part of the divot would be like right there, about 4.5 inches, and then the club would exit, right?
Yeah.
And so to me, the way that you alter where that low point occurs has to do with where your body is. The low point of your swing is always going to occur under the center of your body. So if you see people like this, a lot of beginners, they swing like this and they're so focused on the ball that they kind of fall back.
Yeah, that's another issue of mine.
So if I'm here at impact, the low point of my swing is going to be right here. So guess where I'm going to hit the ground, you know? Like that.
Yep.
So if we start looking at where your low point is and how to kind of alter that and get it further forward, I think that you'll start to realize that, because I know, like, I mean, I'm not playing a heck of a lot of golf right now, but like just on a chip shot, I'm gonna put my weight forward on my front foot, my chest is ahead, and I can just swing, and I know that it's gonna be solid. Like, I don't have to think about it. There's no like concern for the ball, because the low point of my swing is ahead of the ball. So I just hit, and the ball's gonna be there every time.
Yeah.
If I get set up like this, I see people set up to a shot and their chest is back here, and I'm like, what's gonna happen? You know, because they're either gonna hit it fat like this, right?
Yeah.
Or they're gonna do something. I was just giving a lesson to this guy the other day that's set up like that, and he makes solid contact, or kind of like thin contact, but in the air most of the time. And I'm like, how the hell is this guy doing this? And to me, it's not. It's not one of those things where I look at somebody and think there's a swing fault that I have to fix. I'm thinking, like, what awareness is missing in this person that might make a difference? Like, do you know how far back your chest is? And do you know, like, what you're doing? And this guy just had no idea. And so I kind of pointed it out. And he was like, man, I'm terrible. And I'm like, you're terrible? I'm like, you make solid contact from back here? That means that you, as you're coming down, your body lifts up and your hands look at the ball right at the right moment, and you make semi-solid contact most of the time. Like, that's freaking amazing.
Yeah.
You know, like this hand-eye, he's a tennis player.
Oh, okay.
So, like, you know, his hand-eye coordination is really good. And so instead of him thinking, like, I suck or that setup looks terrible, I'm like, do you realize how good a hand-eye coordination that takes to, like, be over here and still make solid contact? Because when I get my chest and my body in front of the ball, I don't feel like it requires hardly any hand-eye coordination. The ball's just right there, and I just hit down on it. It just goes.
Yeah.
So I think, to simplify, I mean, I think it's great when people can use their hand-eye coordination to kind of make their swing work.
Yeah.
And that's probably what you're doing. So for me, I would say, especially in the first lesson, and I love the fact that you said putting and chipping first and second before you start talking about your swing, because I think if you play enough golf, and especially like you want to lower your score, that's where it's at.
Totally.
You know, I bet you, like, with my short game and the places that you hit it, I could probably shoot like 74, you know, like pretty easily, just because, like, you know, you make one extra 8-footer, you hit a chip close, you get it up and down.
Yeah, I know, totally.
So to me, I say we see where maybe this first lesson, just because we've kind of gone through a couple of the fundamentals of solid contact, I say that we take a look and just see, like, where's your low point?
Okay,
you know, where's your body in relation to the ball, and what areas of your swing are you sort of like not being yourself, like where you're not being natural to the way that you just. I want to see you like swing a club like a baseball bat. And I want to say, like, what areas of your swing are you not doing that? Because I think that if you make it, for me, like if I swing there and then I go down and swing there, it feels exactly the same. And even when I look on video, it looks almost the same.
Yeah.
Same timing.
Yeah.
And so I just like to see where the difference is.
Okay.
And then just watch where the center of your body is in relation to the ball. Because if you're saying you're hitting it fat and that's like a miss,
it's got to be that. And like a lot of times too, like I'll be coming through, and then like I like fall out of my swing.
right?
You know. So.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm not going like I'm not transferring forward. You know, and I'm like here, and then my swing's all fucked up. I'm like, yo, look at like my body.
I mean, if you just take this golf ball and skip it like you're skipping a rock, watch how your body moves if you just skip it. So right there, stop. Is that how you finish your golf swing?
Sometimes.
Right. So like if it was, then you'd hit it solid almost every time.
Yeah, that feels good too. I'm not supposed to do that. So simple.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because I think, you know, I'll do that for like the juniors. I'll skip a ball and then I'll throw one. You know, I'll skip one and then hit one, and then I'll ask them, what's the difference? And like, I can see little differences if I look at it on video, but there's really no difference. And so usually the newer the golfer, the bigger the difference there is between watching them throw something forward and then their golf swing. You're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
So I've seen some people showing them their because that whole skipping the golf ball thing started with this guy in Carmel, California, Fred Shoemaker. He runs this golf school, Extraordinary Golf, and early on in his career, he would have people throwing golf clubs, and he would just have people take a golf club and just chuck it, right?
Really?
Yeah, but then he kind of became known as a club throwing guy. So in the last 5-10 years, he's sort of like gone to throwing golf balls.
Yeah, better. Good call.
Because if you've never thrown a golf club for a righty, the first time you throw it, it'll take off like at that angle. And like for me, like I'll hang on to it too long. And
I'm throwing it like into the.
Yeah. And then after you throw a few, you can throw them straight. But like the first ones, you're like. So I don't think anybody ever got hurt.
That's good.
But then I've seen people, so like their swing, guys that have been playing 40 years, and they're like over the top, falling on their back feet, and they're like, I've been to every top instructor in the world, and I can't stop coming over the top. I can't get my focus off the ball. And then Fred would have them like take a step and take a club and throw it. And then I've seen like grown men cry when they see their videos on their, like they're like, I didn't think my body could do that, because they're sitting there thinking there's something wrong with their body. And it's like, no, you just need to get a little bit more focus on going out and less on that.
Yeah.
So maybe just warm up, and then we'll kind of talk about some of this stuff as you're going. I think.
Well, what should I do?
Why don't you take like a 9 or an 8 or something like that? I always like to start with a little loft, so that you don't feel like you have to swing
9.
too hard.
Yeah.
And then I'd say, and you can tell me if you want to do something different.
I'm here for whatever you've got to say.
Let's do some chipping and putting next week.
Okay, yeah.
Because I got a couple drills that I want to show you.
Cool.
And then for the third one, we can kind of like do whatever.
Yeah.
We could do
See
both.
where we're working.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then if you want to do more, you can. But hopefully, I think it'd be nice with 3 lessons, 3 hours. Hopefully, you have some stuff you can work on and go off for a couple months.
Yeah, exactly.
And then if you're like, hey, you want to do like 1 lesson, you're like, hey,
I really want to work on this.
Yeah.
Yeah, because right now I don't even really know, right? So it's like,
right.
I need to build some knowledge about what the heck's going on here.
Yeah, sweet.
Because that's my thing. It's like I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I don't know when I hit the ball well. I don't know what I'm doing right. I don't know what to practice. So it's like I'm just guessing. So it's like I know it feels good and what like oh yeah, that's a good shot, right?
Yeah.
And when I get the basics, keep with your head and whatever, But it's like I don't know. Yeah, I just need like more knowledge on like how to get better, basically.
Yeah.
So
understanding.
Just hit the ball or what?
Yeah, just get warmed up. And I might take a couple videos as you start getting warmed up, just to.
That's very tough. I don't hit my back.
I like to say, start slow or start small on the first couple swings, just to like let your body kind of get loose.
Okay.
And the reason why is because your hands and arms are the first thing to warm up in the morning. Like you use them to brush your teeth, you use them to drive your car, but your body, I can tell because it's 9 a.m. Like this is all stiff and like this isn't stiff. And so if you immediately go to a full shot right off the bat, like right out of the car to the first tee or what you just did there, you're gonna use your hands and arms more than your body. And so when you're starting out, I like to just try to go really short and try to make sure that my body gets warmed up or really slow, so that your body, because if I go like this right now, my arms just want to take over. And you want your body to be controlling the whole thing, because that's where all the strength is. And
that's the other thing too is I want to learn like what is like a good consistent takeaway, like how to take the club back, like to initiate the backswing. Because I always feel like I'm like doing that differently as well.
Let me get one swing on video, and then I can show you. Because my thought is always, before you figure out where you want to go, you got to figure out where you're at, right?
Yeah. Good to go.
Yeah. I'm just going to get one
face on too. There's basically two views that most people will take, video. Face
Back and
on
front, yeah.
and then down the line.
Okay.
So main sports that you played or still play, baseball, anything else?
Well, I grew up wrestling.
Wrestling?
Yeah, I was a wrestler. Yeah, I played football and wrestled and baseball. But wrestling, honestly, was my best sport.
Yeah.
So.
Wrestlers are pretty badass, like, I just think that they're
So I was hoping this guy would get out of his truck earlier.
pretty tough.
It's gonna kick the shit out of that guy, I swear to God. I was like, dude, you don't know what you're getting into there, little buddy. See his little ass in his big truck. I'm like, unless you have a gun, this isn't working out for you.
Where'd you wrestle?
Just in high school. I wrestled in junior high school and high school.
What high school did you go to?
Aptos.
Did you?
Yeah, and then after high school, I joined the military.
Oh,
So I was in the military for 8 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you go overseas or?
Yeah, I went to Iraq and Afghanistan. Yeah.
That's gnarly.
Yeah. So.
Um,
But yeah, I haven't wrestled in. I got in some trouble in high school. I was like a big prospect. You couldn't stay out of trouble.
oh really?
Yeah.
Like to go to a college or?
Just like, yeah, like my sophomore year, I was like 12th in the state of California. And then my junior year, I got kicked off the team, and then my coach kicked me off again my senior year. So that was cool. I guess he taught me a life lesson.
Right.
He didn't.
Right.
But
I know, it's so funny how sometimes high school coaches think that they're doing something and they're really like,
it was like the wrong call.
yeah, exactly.
Some other kid on my team got in trouble for selling cocaine at school, and I was late to that practice, and my coach kicked me off. It was like, you've missed too many practices, you're done. And the thing is, he knew every year, my mom was in Chicago, and every winter break, I'd always go back there to see my mom.
Yeah.
And he'd always count those days against her. Like, I'm like, who are you?
Yeah.
He was a dumbass.
A little bit of like a power, it's like you're a high school.
Well, he was like the
wrestling
special needs teacher too, so he like had all the special needs students come out for the wrestling team too, which was great, good for them and everything. But he kind of turned it into like a bit of a mockery.
Yeah.
And then he's like big dog, and I'm our best wrestler, and he's like fucking with me the whole time. I'm like, okay. I mean, obviously I could have been better, but he didn't have to be the way he was.
Almost like one of those things where like if you're like somebody's trying to tear you down because like you're so good. You know what I mean? Like trying to bring you back to the middle, and it's like, can't you just be happy for this guy that he's a really good wrestler and try to support that? It's like, hey man, all these other kids like are struggling, like, and you're up there,
There's
like,
the kid my freshman year, that same coach. There was this kid. He won CCS and was going to state. He was like ranked like first in the state. He was like the best wrestler Aptos ever had. And like Andy knows him.
What year did you graduate?
I graduated in 2007.
Okay.
So, but this guy graduated like 2005 or whatever. But anyway, he got caught. There was like a weed pipe in a car he was in, and it was actually his buddies, and he like took the blame for it. And then like the school, he like got in trouble. He like did his thing, and the school was like, okay, you can still compete in state. And the coach was like, no, you can't. It was like the kid. He never went to college then. He just ruined his life. And now he's like he's a card dealer.
Oh man.
I'm like, dude, and it's all because of this guy. Thinks he's like got all, I got all the answers.
Yeah.
Anyway, whatever. Yeah, that kind of pissed me off.
Yeah.
But yeah, so baseball, football, and wrestling.
Okay.
I like ping pong. I mean, I have like pretty decent hand-eye coordination and stuff.
Yeah, I can tell. I can tell right off the bat. So, okay, watch. If you take the club back in your right hand only, and just pull the club back and take it to the top, let's just watch where it goes. Do that a couple times. Let's take the ball away, and I just want you to swing. Swing it with just that hand. Swing it a couple times.
Yeah, it's like getting down. Yeah.
So do that a couple more times, and does that? I'm just gonna ask you. Does that
weird.
Does it feel different than your backswing?
Yeah. What's up, brother? How you doing?
Good, man.
Yeah, it feels different.
Okay, I'm gonna get one on video.
I'm hitting at the ground.
All right, let's take a look at this. I just want you to see. Oh no, my video library is empty.
Bro, we can get another one of those terrible swings again.
Yeah, let me just. it's this app. It's kind of an older app, and so tell me what feels different about that. Hit one with both hands.
It feels like my left arm does my left arm pushes it back and like keeps everything in control. Where like with my right arm, I'm like, I'm missing that balance.
So watch, if you take it back with your left arm only, what happens?
Yeah, I don't know. It feels more in control, I guess.
But does that feel different than your? Do that one more time. I want to get one on video. Basically, to me, when you can't overpower the golf club, because you can tell that it's like heavier and it's kind of harder to get up there, the golf club wants to swing in a certain way. You know, like there's a weight on the end of that stick and it wants to come up and come down. That would be, as far as I'm concerned, from myself and watching thousands of lessons that I've taught, that would be your best teacher for where your backswing's supposed to go. It's just taking it back with one hand and just watching where it goes, and then trying to figure out what's the difference. You see where that's at? Can you reach that hand with the other hand? Probably not, right? So if you get there and bring it down, to me, that's where the top of your backswing should be. Right there. Does that feel like where it's at?
It feels, no, but I mean, it feels good like this.
Yeah, take that hand off. So here's how you're gonna do it. You're gonna go, take it back with one arm, like this, but like, you know, get ready.
Yeah.
And then I can't reach that hand with this hand, so as soon as I run out of room here, I'll bring that hand to it. That's it. That's basically based on your flexibility in your upper body and your hips.
Yeah.
That's as far as you need to go back. Actually, if you start lifting more, you're gonna slow your swing down. Or what I noticed with you, and I'll show you on video, is that the swing kind of breaks down here, your arms collapse. And even though you think you're going farther to get more distance, now your arms have to extend, and then your body kind of gets thrown off. And watch, when you go here, and then the club extends, now you fall back.
Yep.
Where if you get here, then everything that you do can be a total green light towards the target.
Yeah.
But if you get going here like this, and I'll show you on video so you can see, your arms have to re-extend, and the act of them re-extending there throws your weight back.
Got it.
So a lot of times it has to do with what your arms are doing rather than your body. I'm just gonna show you. So let's see, did I get this one on video? Play. Yeah, let's check this out. I think I only got one with the lead on, but this is your backswing. Okay, so this is swing plane, right? Can you see it?
Yeah, I'm like turning.
Yeah.
Like coming over the top right there too.
Yeah, so that's kind of like a little bit too much that way. Ideally, that would just, if your hands were a little bit lower, then the club would be right down the same line, because that's your target line. And the club just kind of comes that way. Now from there, it's probably just going to come down a little bit on top of the ball. Pretty damn good though, you know? There's not a lot there. Because you can just tell that.
Just a little bit. See at the top how like I'm here, and then there's just a little bit of like this.
Yeah.
And then also the thing with the coming back too far is throwing my balance off for sure. Yeah.
I'm just looking at, so to me, like, if there's any area that I would try to change, it would be just like stop right there. It's gonna feel short, and you're gonna feel like I don't have any power. But honestly, if that was the top of your swing and then you just rotated, you'd hit it so much straighter. It's that extra sort of like to there that makes you kind of hit it fat. And then, I mean, you can't teach like your hips rotate really nice, you know. So let's just watch where, like, watch if you take this back. It's interesting how that. Do that a couple more times with the lead arm.
The lead arm?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess. It needs to be like that, right?
Just see where it wants to go naturally.
It's like that.
Right about there, right?
Yeah. And then it needs to be like that, right?
Your arm doesn't need to be straight. Like, you know, my arm's not totally straight at the top. I don't think.
So yeah, I just need to go like right here, basically, though, huh?
And then from there, just full green light to the target.
But see, I need to stop doing this. So how do I keep? I gotta like come in, right? More. Like how do I? Because how do I stop myself from doing that?
The thing about it is that your hands extending
Is
from
what's
there to
doing
there
that?
is what's doing that.
So when I don't do that, I won't have that problem.
Because you don't come over the top when you skip one.
Yeah.
You don't do that, right?
No. Yeah.
It just comes down.
Balance, but yeah, here.
But if you go like this, if you were to just imagine if you were to go back here like that and try to skip it,
Yeah.
you wouldn't come back down and do this. You would go like this, right?
Yeah.
If you got too high up here,
Yeah.
then it would go that way.
Yeah.
That's what I think. It's just a natural reaction from up there. So to me, it would be mostly about just like hitting that spot.
Mm-hmm.
What if you just did a couple like half swings where you just took it back to like, you know, where your arms, yeah, exactly. Just hit a couple, and I would say when I practice, I like to have one commitment, right? I don't like to have multiple because I don't think that you can think about multiple things during a golf swing.
Uh-huh.
I think that that's just stupid.
Totally.
And I don't find it really that enjoyable either. And so let's just say for now, I want you to focus on where your hands stop at the top.
Okay, but
And
you're
so
saying do a half one?
Do a half swing, and then what you're going to tell me when you're finished is where you think your hands were at the top.
Okay.
And then I'll just give you the feedback.
Okay. Probably like right here.
Yeah, they were about right there.
There. Oh wow. And now with the when you take it away, you want the club head to, like the club face to be so it's like closed and then it like opens, right? And then it closes again. Or how does that work? Because I know some people keep it closed the whole time.
Your club face is really, really square. I'll just show you this.
Mine is, right?
It's really good.
Oh, it's a good thing?
But
Okay.
if you take it back here and you just turn your body,
Uh-huh.
just watch where the club is right here. See if I just
Yeah.
turn. Okay, so right there, when it's parallel to the ground,
Yeah.
if it matches the angle of your spine, the leading edge,
Uh-huh.
that's square.
Okay.
So from at this position here, this would be closed,
Yep.
and that would make it go left, and that would be open.
Yeah.
So you're pretty much right there. When you take it up here, it just hinges. You know, like all it's doing is just hinging up,
Yeah.
and then when it comes back, it's still square. I mean, your club face is really square, so I wouldn't say that that's a very big concern
Okay.
of mine
Right now. Yeah.
for you.
Okay.
But I think that it's a good question because if you
Because I just find myself like thinking about that kind of shit a lot in my swing. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I like this takeaway felt weird. Oh my god, and then like I hit it like shit. I'm like thinking that, and then I hit it like shit. You know, it's like
when you take the club back with one hand, watch where it goes.
yeah,
Just take it back with your right hand and just pause it right there. Is
Oh,
it
right here.
square?
yeah,
Take it back again. Go really slow. So that's square. Because the leading edge is matching the angle of your spine.
yeah,
If you start getting it going like this,
yeah,
then that's open.
yeah,
But watch, if you took your hand back in a way like you were going to throw something, right?
uh-huh,
You notice how at this point it's matching the angle of your spine? You would never take it back like that, right?
No.
You would never go like that.
yeah,
So all you're trying to do is just match the way. I always like to say, if my goal was to take my left hand and whack it really hard with my right hand and take it back like bam, like that.
Yeah.
You know, you could do that often, right? At every point, this hand would be matching the angle of your spine. When it got up here, sure, it would change. But as soon as it got back down here, now it's matching my spine angle. And same thing on the way through. If I stand up, now it's straight. So it's like that. The club face, as long as it's not rolling open and closed, I think you're good. But I can show you on
yeah.
video.
No, that's cool. No, that's good.
Your club face is really square. there. I know it's hard to see.
Oh
See how it matches your spine angle?
Yeah.
And then watch on the way down. Is it moving?
No. Oh yeah. Yeah, the leaf field. Yeah.
Better than most.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's from. You know, like honestly, Andy's club face is always super square. I played baseball. My club face is open on the way down.
Oh yeah.
I get it. You know, I wasn't a great baseball player, but most baseball players, their club face open, wide open. You know.
Yeah, because they're.
You played hockey though. I think. Did you play hockey?
I have played hockey. Yeah. I like as a little kid, but.
I swear, if people that play hockey, it's like the amount of club face control that they have compared to baseball.
Yeah.
It's like hockey has a face.
Well, it has.
flat
Yeah,
face.
it has a face like yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh? Maybe that's it.
I just know that from because I taught so many young hockey players in Canada when I
Oh,
lived in
yeah.
Canada for 10 years.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and they're all just like so. I mean, most of the times it gets closed, extra closed for them. But like that to me is a better problem than open.
Yeah.
Because then if it's too closed, then the only answer to that is why do I hit snap hooks all the time? It's just like just rotate it more.
Yeah.
And if it's open, it's kind of like well, you got to get it square before you can rotate.
Oh, so yeah. So that's more to this
Yeah.
process.
So let's just try to go a little bit shorter on this swing.
So like here. Or?
Yeah, no, just keep doing the same thing. What feels like half swings.
In the hole.
I'm so happy that those targets are still out there. And they
So
didn't
was
blo-
that yesterday?
I've been leaving them out because I teach out here Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday.
Oh, see that one? I thought about having it swinging, like having my contact in front of the ball. Oh, that actually changed that swing path or the ball flight a lot.
I'm gonna get one more and then I'm gonna take a look.
I don't make sense to do that swing from that one. See, it feels so much like not as that far. It's so weird.
I mean, that's the whole thing, is that feels not real, you know?
Yeah.
The way that something feels is, it's gonna feel different if it's just different from what you've been doing.
Yeah.
I mean, like, when's the last time you tried to change a habit that you do in your life? It's fucking hard,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I have
You know?
a long time.
Yeah. So this is what you're trying to do. You're trying to change a physical movement pattern, which to me is just the same thing as changing a habit, which is
Tough.
like, you know, I don't know if I've ever done it. I've definitely have attempted to change my golf swing and like a pattern that I have. You know, like I'm gonna wake up at 6 and do a workout for 20 minutes as soon as the alarm goes off, and it's like to change that as opposed to like sleeping until 7:30 and
Yeah.
having a coffee. It's hard, you know. Like,
Sounds nice.
so this is, I think it's just important to realize that if it feels odd or hard, that's good. You know?
Yeah.
Because it's not, if changing something, a pattern, it's not easy.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes golf so fun, because I think golf and then taking lessons and trying to get better, and it's just like shows you it's like it's possible to change.
Yeah.
You know,
no,
so, like-
totally. Yeah, no, that's cool.
Not to get super philosophical on you.
No, I agree though. I mean, honestly, that's why I've really started to like golf, because of the it's like the whole mental aspect. I think that's why, like in Asian cultures, they respect good golfers so much, because you have like the control of your mind
Right.
in order to do it.
It's almost like the like modern day samurai or something.
Yeah, you have to like it's like a discipline, right?
Yeah.
And you have to like
Yeah.
keep your mind in the right frame and have that control of your body, and then like that's why I think it's like an amazing game. Like anybody who's good at it, it's like wow, that takes like a lot of Nobody just steps on a golf course and is good at it.
You know what's interesting is that, like, junior golf, college golf, professional golf, say like there was a 15-year period where that, you know, was my job.
Uh-huh.
Like as a college golfer, that's your job, and then, you know, like as a pro, that's your job. So for like 15, 20 years of my life, that was my job, is to play golf.
Yeah.
And I find that like now that I teach and I don't play as much, that like my mind is so much more squirrely than it used to be. Like I used to be able to like be more present with people and focus better and like have better discipline to do things, and now it's like,
Oh,
yeah.
I see. Yeah. Yeah. It's
because
just,
I've kind of lost that like centering piece of like I play golf every single day for 4 to 6 hours, don't talk to me, and then, you know, other than that, then you go and you like interact with people.
yeah.
But now it's like, where's that sort of like, it's almost like if you meditated for 6 hours a day, like playing golf with your career, because you're not really, as like a career, it's not really that social. Like you have social moments, but
Yeah.
it's not like riding around in a cart drinking beer
With your buddies.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt.
It might be like working out in the morning and then going to the golf course to like the back of the range with your headphones on for an hour and a half, and then putting for an hour and a half, and then going to play at 9 holes, and then all of a sudden, like, then after that you have like, you know, go out to dinner with your buddies, but like you have that.
But you have that moment where it's just you kind of deal.
So let's go back to that piece that you were saying about thinking about the low point.
Uh-huh.
And I think my next lesson might be getting here pretty quick because it's 10 o'clock. So let's just hang out for,
Okay.
yeah. We just had an hour, right?
Yeah, I have no idea. I'm
Yeah.
sure. I'm guessing. Yeah, you tell me.
No, I just wanted to make sure you were looking at me and I'm like going, shit, did you think we had 2 hours? But
No. I had a feeling it was going to be quick. Like, that 1 hour is going to go quick.
Yeah.
Just because there's a lot to go over.
so let's just take a look at this. We'll go, you know, we can do 5 more minutes.
Okay.
When you set up,
Mm-hmm.
I want you to just be aware of where the center of your mass is, like the center of your
Okay.
chest. So set up, and I just want you to check it out. So right now, I see the center of your chest is right there.
Yeah.
So it's right on the front edge of the ball, which is great. I'm just gonna get your hands just slightly further ahead, that way. I think that's gonna help you come a little bit more from the inside.
Uh-huh.
And then when you take it to the top, I just want you to stop. Bam, right there, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, center of your chest is still right on top of the ball, right there.
Yeah.
So from that position there, if you just swing, you're gonna hit it solid, because the low point's always gonna match wherever the center of your chest is. So the low point will be like right there, which is awesome. Now, I'm gonna get this on video. Start over from the bottom. So you've got the low point, okay, center of your chest, right over the ball. Now go to the top and stop. Okay. Now I want you to try to, you can start over. I want you to try to hit one.
No stopping, of course, yeah.
Yeah, just hit it. Oh man, if that didn't catch it, I'm gonna be so pissed.
Cool. I could do it again.
I think I'm gonna need to.
Update to the latest version.
Well, this app that I've been using called Huddle Technique.
Uh-huh.
Another company bought it and it was free, and now the company wants
Money.
like $300 a year for it. And like obviously I'll do it, but I'm just trying to not update the app and have it. But it keeps saying like this is an old version of the app. To download the new version,
Oh yeah,
and
they're gonna make it difficult for you, I'm sure. To keep operating without the new shit. See, the bad time I didn't came back too far and I did that shit with my hands.
so the message to me is this: when you, I'm just gonna get one on regular video. go to the top, everything's fine, and then when you reach that little extra,
I like do that.
you go this way
Yeah.
with your chest, and then the center of your chest is so far back that that's why you hit it fat sometimes. When you stay short here, then the center of your chest stays on the ball, and then you can just hit down on it.
Yeah.
You know, because honestly, the role of the hands and arms in the golf swing is just to hinge up and hinge down. That's all they do. So if you do this and just feel that,
Yeah.
hinge up and hinge down, right? Like a full release, like you're throwing water out the end of that.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
right? Hinge up, hinge down. If you go here like this, they hinge up. And if you're right on top of the ball, then all they need to do is just hinge down right on the ball.
Is that too far back though? Like right here?
I think that's a little farther than your spot. You know, when you
My
take it,
spot's like here, yeah.
if you take it back with your right hand and then grab it,
Yeah.
that's the spot. And as long as your chest is right on
And
top of
this doesn't need to break or anything, right? You don't want it to, right?
No. Because when you go, do that again one more
Yeah.
time. When you go like this, then you go back,
Yep.
and that's
Trying
why
to
you
get
hit
longer.
it fat.
Yeah. I just gotta. That's the other thing is like sometimes when I hit it well, it's like keep your head down, and then I like try to like stay in the like I would tell myself mentally like stay in the box. But I mean that just means like
Stay centered, right?
stay centered.
Yeah.
Essentially, yeah.
If you start watching, if you want to watch anything on YouTube, just watch, you know, like Justin Thomas, Dustin Johnson, all those guys' swings, and just notice, like if you look at something that's behind them, when they turn, they don't,
Nothing moves.
there's not a lot of this.
No, yeah.
You know,
it's
they
all,
like take it
right
back
in
and
here.
they just turn and coil up, and then they release it, right?
Yeah.
But there's not a lot of lateral movement. And so I
Totally.
think that's where you get off, is that when you go a little bit longer, you get going that way,
Yeah.
and then you hit it fat.
Exactly. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Totally. Makes a lot of sense. So we're like Wednesday, right?
I think we have. Hi, Suni. How are you?
Like 3 in a row. Like today, Wednesday, then Saturday.
Yeah. Wednesday the 9th.
Yep.
And then I think I had you for the next 2 Wednesdays.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay,
The
cool.
9th and the 16th. We'll do some.
Okay. Yeah, the 16th, that's my birthday.
Oh, do you want to?
Well, I don't know. I can do this. I don't know what else I do.
I mean,
no, that's.
no
I'll probably
problem.
play this. I'll probably do this and go golf
Go
with
play,
Andy
yeah.
or something. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Perfect.
Yeah, just let me know if you make plans, and I just need, you know, like.
Totally. I don't think. I mean,
Week.
it's on a Wednesday. I don't think I'm not doing anything. And I'm turning 33. It's all good. I've done it before. Had a birthday before.
Hey, 33 is a good number.
I like it. Honestly, I'm excited for it.
Yeah. So if you do 3 lessons, it's $105 a lesson, but I do like a little package deal where it's $305 for 3. So do you have my Venmo information? I think a lot of it's on the email.
Oh, maybe I can look at the email, or I can just.
But I can. Sometimes the service out here is a little wonky, you know, as we both know.
Oh yeah.
Do you have any desire to hit a few more? And because I know that was sort of quick.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So why don't you take that bucket and you can go to maybe the 3rd stall, or you can go over there, and then I'll hang with Suni.
You got it. So just what? Just hit whatever.
Yeah,
Hit the ball?
I would say
Work on that, like.
continue with the shorter swing, and I always like to work on my stuff with my wedges, 9-iron, 8-iron.
Yeah.
And then if you feel like you're starting to strike it solid, you like what you're doing, you can creep into the longer clubs, like hit a couple drivers, and
Yeah.
hit a couple other shots. But then if you start struggling, then just come back. Like, I want you to feel like your 8 and 9 are home base.
Totally.
That's the way that I always like to practice.
And now, as far as like lining up with the longer irons, is there any
Just as the clubs get a little bit longer,
ball goes?
the ball goes a little bit further forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's about
And
it.
you have to kind of figure out where.
And then where do you want your hands initially? Like low or like down here or what?
I would say a little bit more forward. Like there was one time where I kind of pushed your hands a little bit further forward.
Yeah, like that. Okay, have it kind of canted.
Yeah.
Okay,
Exactly.
cool.
Do you want me to try to look at your phone, or do you want to try to do it when you get home?
Oh no, I'll go grab my phone right now. It's in the truck.